What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video as we're here once again for another Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 83. A very quick episode of ROH and a potentially very quick TV review because I don't really have any extra tidbits to add in the beginning portion of this video. It has been a long week, so let's just get right to it. As our opening contest this week was Action Andretti versus Tony Deppen. Back and forth early with Deppen trying to keep the match on the ground, but Andretti changes this up when he lands some drop kicks. Deppen catches him in the corner and lands some forearms, but misses his top rope maneuver. However, the two exchange dives to the outside. Back in the ring, Andretti hits a Falcon Arrow that gets a close 2 count. He follows this up with a big shotgun drop kick and a dive to close the match off, with Action Andretti picking up the victory. Next, we go to the backstage area with the Iron Savages calling out the Outrunners and mentioning their attack on them several weeks ago, mainly mentioning that these attacks will keep happening. They called them out and thinking that they are lying about their ages and that they're mainly mad at the Outrunners because they think the Outrunners came along to take on their popularity and their momentum that they had been building up. And even at one point, Jack Jameson calls them meat riders. So, I will say this. I don't really know how I can take these threats seriously because, a bit of a spoiler alert, the freaking Iron Savages lose the match that happens up next, and that match was Jack Jameson and Boulder versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. Reynolds and Jameson start the match off, but quickly tag outs for Silver and Jameson to have a bit of a pose off. Silver gets caught in his opponent's corner, some more tags are made throughout the match, but the most of this match are the Iron Savages using double team maneuvers until Boulder is sent to the outside and Jameson gets caught with a double cutter by the Dark Order members for them to win this matchup. A very quick matchup up next, which was Abaddon versus Lydia. They mentioned during this match that Athena is the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor history, which, again, I mentioned it several times on last week's review. I don't think they even mentioned it, but I guess they made up for it this week. Lydia gets bit to start the match, and anything that Lydia does not really have any effect. And Abaddon wins once again with the Black Dahlian. There's an ongoing joke that Abaddon only gets championship matches around Halloween time. I remember Abaddon had a match with Britt Baker around Halloween in 2021. 2022, I should have looked and researched. I feel there's probably one that I'm just neglecting, and I definitely do remember last year Abaddon having a match for a title with Hikaru Shida that was on Collision. If they're holding this match off and around Halloween time, this is just a theory that I have processed in my mind. They're just dragging it out way too long. They should have probably already had this match, but hey, Abaddon and Athena have a confrontation later on in this episode. Again, bit of a teaser there. However, something that they're teasing in the women's division is something with Red Velvet and Diamante, as they have a face-to-face in the backstage area. During the course of this face-to-face, they do have a match announced, but if any physical contact happens during this face-to-face, that match would be off. And Red Velvet says that she's been impressed with this new Diamante we've seen over the past year, mainly her matches with Layla Hirsch, but knows that it bothers Diamante that she's been competing for 16 years, around 16 years, and Red Velvet has been competing for around 8 years, and she's the one with championship gold first. And Diamante says that Red Velvet does not really know who she is messing with this new version of Diamante, which, again, don't know when the match is going to happen, but at least some build and hype is being mentioned around it. Next matchup on this episode of ROH was Brian Cage versus Alec Price. Price got a nice reception from the crowd, and he is able to pull off some reversals to start the matchup off, but could not get out of a suplex attempt. This leads to him getting tossed around the ring several times by Cage, and eventually tossed to the outside. Cage lands a trio of power bombs and an F10 to win the matchup. It is a bit shocking, because Brian Cage is now 13-0 in singles competition on Honor Club / ROH. I don't really know what much else he needs to get a championship opportunity. I personally, and this is going back months now, thought he should have won the TV title at Death Before Honor in the Survival of the Fittest. If not him, Shane Taylor. Neither of those two won, so I was just wrong on both fronts. We do get highlights from the Bunkhouse Brawl on Collision for the ROH tag titles, which was between Dusty Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus the Undisputed Kingdom. It was a very enjoyable match. It would have been great to review on here, and, you know, if I wasn't being too lazy, I probably would have went back and watched it and talked about it on here, but at least they showed highlights from the match on here. As now we get another tag team match. That being Billy Starks and Athena versus LMK and Christine Marie. No code of honor as Starks and Marie start the match off, with Marie being dominated and struggling to tag her partner in until she eventually does. This really does nothing, as at one point Athena body slams both her opponents, and Athena wins and ends the match with a new maneuver that Caprice Coleman named the Hussy Clutch. After the match, Athena and Starks attack their opponents until Abaddon comes out, and Athena, while Starks is not paying attention, gets out of the ring. So Starks is left alone with Abaddon, and Athena is just mentioning that she just left to brush and clean her title belt off. So they're trying to tease some more dissension with Starks and Athena, while also building to a potential Abaddon-Athena match at some point. We got a singles matchup up next, that being Johnny TV versus Commander. Fast-paced early on, Commander lands an arm drag off of a springboard. Johnny lands a big knee for a 2 count, with a lot of Johnny's moves being a variety of knees and kicks throughout the match. Commander strikes back with a springboard hurricanrana and a big crossbody to the outside. Johnny lands 2 neck breakers for a close 2 count. Then he takes his time trying to hit the Starship Pain, but misses, but is able to recover quick enough to hit a Spanish Fly. Commander then hits a Canadian Destroyer and his springboard shooting star press to pick up a bit of an upset, shocking victory. Commander beat Johnny TV. As now we do go to our main event matchup for the Pure Championship, Lee Moriarty versus Preston Vance. Our judges on the stage are Jimmy Jacobs, Christopher Daniels, and Jerry Lynn. Vance uses his power early. Moriarty tries to bait Vance to use a rope break, but it does not work. However, Vance hits Moriarty with a closed fist and is issued a warning. Vance scoots to the ropes to use his first rope break to escape a wrist lock, and then quickly does so soon after using a second rope break, but after this one, both men are stood up. Moriarty's first rope break comes after he escapes a full Nelson, but is caught with a lariat afterwards. Moriarty quickly rolls to the outside, and then Vance tries to grab him to bring him back in, but Moriarty uses the ropes to his advantage and gets back in the ring to roll up Vance after this and retain his Pure Championship. I almost came close to saying Television Championship, but that was the end of that match. That was the end of this episode. We're at the end of this review. This is a quick episode of ROH. I don't really have that many. Besides them not freaking, like, at least announcing, like, give me a big graphic saying, Abaddon, Athena. This is when this match is taking place. They've been teasing this for like a month. I don't want to over-exaggerate and say 2 months, but it's at least been a month, you know. At some point, this match needs to happen. So, I don't really got much else to complain about. Hopefully, everybody stays safe this weekend. I know a lot of craziness is going to go on. I always say stay safe in every video regardless. So, there's that as well. So, hopefully, you do enjoy this video. You did. If you don't, you're at the end. You can just click off. But hopefully, you enjoyed my video. You enjoy all my videos. You'll like and subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, hit the subscribe button. Because I'll see you in the next one. Because I'm out for now. I do very much struggle with these outros sometimes. But it's done. The video's done.